The fight over what Donald Trump can and can't say on social media about his criminal indictment heated up today. Trump's legal team, just ahead of a 5 p.m. deadline, responding to special counsel Jack Smith's effort to get him to stop making what they see as potential threats. And in the past hour, the special counsel firing back. Now, Jack Smith had cited the former president writing, quote, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." Argued posts like that could cross the line, especially if they more directly address specifics in the case. Quote, "If the defendant were to begin issuing public posts using details or, for example, grand jury transcripts obtained in discovery here, it could have a harmful, chilling effect on witnesses or adversely affect the fair administration of justice in this case." Judge Tanya Chutkan had denied the Trump legal team's request for a delay in filing their response, which could place limits on what the former president can and can't say about the case on social media and elsewhere. The former president's legal team has come out swinging. Trump attorney John Lauro visited all 5 of the major Sunday morning talk shows yesterday, where he argued that this protective order would unfairly restrict the former president's speech in the midst of a political campaign.
This is the problem with bringing a political prosecution in a political season. President Trump was responding in a political way to some of his political opponents, and the Biden administration wants the judge to put in place an order that will prevent the press from obtaining exculpatory and material information that might be relevant to these proceedings.
Notice him trying to use Biden administration and the special counsel interchangeably. Team Trump trying to make sure their friends in the media get full access, the same defendant who fought to keep a camera out of the previous case. But seriously, this is a serious legal argument the Trump team is making, and Lauro, in his response, called for a significantly more narrow order. Quote, "The court can and should limit its protective order to genuinely sensitive materials, a less restrictive alternative that would satisfy any government interest in confidentiality while preserving the First Amendment rights of President Trump and the public." But while Judge Chutkan is deliberating, the rhetoric has only intensified from the former president. Hours after the special counsel's motion was filed, former President Trump took some vicious personal shots at Jack Smith during a speech in Alabama.
Deranged Jack Smith, doesn't he look deranged? You see the picture with the purple robe? He's a deranged human being. This guy is a lost soul, bad guy, no get nicer. He's a deranged, sick person.
Trump even attacking Judge Chutkan, posting to Truth Social, quote, "There's no way I can get a fair trial with the judge, quote, assigned to the ridiculous freedom of speech, fair elections case. Everybody knows this, and so does she. We will be immediately asking for recusal of this judge on very powerful grounds," likely not doing himself any favors with the judge. Now, in just the last hour, Jack Smith has responded to the latest Trump response, and he's citing posts like that comment about the judge as grounds for limiting Trump, saying it's, quote, "particularly important here because of the defendant and his co-conspirators' practice as described in the indictment of publicly targeting individuals." Look, I think he has the right to criticize the prosecutor and even the judge, but where is the line, particularly when it comes to potential witnesses and beyond? Let's ask Doug Burns. He previously served as an assistant DA in the same prosecutor's office as John Lauro in the Eastern District of New York. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, so where's the line?
No, there's a middle ground, obviously. So the point is he has every right to criticize the prosecutors, every right to criticize the judge. I'm laughing and smiling because I could imagine being in front of umpteen judges I've been in front of for 30 years who would say, "Mr. Trump or Mr. President, you know, I think it behooves you not to call people deranged psychos, so I'd like you to tone that down a little bit. I also think you shouldn't be saying, 'I'm coming after you.' But beyond that, Mr. Defendant, you're absolutely free to criticize. The prosecutors criticize me all day long. That's free speech. But also, you're not allowed to talk about sensitive evidence, 6E material, grand jury material, other material that's possibly sensitive that could compromise the safety and security of a witness, for example." So there's a lot of layers to this. I've been through these rodeos many, many times, but the bottom line is if I were the judge, which I'm not, I would say, guys, everybody take it down a notch. Let's take the temperature down, and you can criticize everybody, but do it within reason, and you're not going to comment on secret and confidential evidence.
But Donald Trump isn't going to just abide by it. Let's just take it down.
No, he isn't.
All right? I mean,
No.
so you're going to have to draw some lines, right?
Right, but what's so interesting and fascinating, and I heard some of your takes, which I agree with, which is that some of this over the ski tip stuff on the part of those attacking him could backfire. So I think he's actually trying to rile them up so they'll make more and more mistakes, ostensibly. It's a very interesting game.
Well, thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.